At a July 15th hearing in Milwaukee County Circuit Court, 2 of the 4 students who had accused the teacher of misconduct and 2 of their parents testified to the impact the teacher's conduct had on their mental health and educational careers. Quote, "The amount of damage Erica has done in my family and to my child is unmeasurable," Rufus King parent Raylena Windman said at the hearing. Alamange Reinke has been a teacher since 2008 and employed at Rufus King since the 2013-2014 school year, according to her attorney, Craig Mastantuono. She apologized for her actions during the hearing. Have you guys ever thought for a moment how many other children she may have abused that did not come forward? Because a lot of times when people are sexually abused or sexually assaulted, they do not come forward. Could you imagine if she had been getting away with this since she has been a teacher and she's just finally getting caught? This is not usually a one-time situation. Abusers abuse until they get caught. Quote, "I am so sorry to the parents and students that I've hurt," Alamange Reinke said. "I've been seeking therapy due to this incident, and I've come to the realization that I've had an issue with boundaries. It just never came to fruition until my 17th year." Your 17th year of teaching. Can I rewind that for y'all? She didn't realize she had an issue with boundaries until she had been teaching for 17 years. So what was she like in year 1, year 2, year 3? It took her 17 years to realize she had an issue with boundaries, meaning she probably violated boundaries in the past. This is not somebody that we want roaming around free in our community, and we all got to be able to agree with that. "It just has never come to fruition until my 17th year of teaching due to the fact that I felt more students seem to have more social needs this past year." And she took advantage of it. This woman is in her plea. She's sounding like a predator. Could you imagine if a man was saying this? If a man was saying, "Well, I didn't realize I had a problem with boundaries until my 17th year of teaching. And these girls have more of a social need these days, so that's why my boundary lines with girls were blurred." Imagine if a male teacher said the exact same thing. We would be outraged, right? Boys and girls in our community, children, minors in our community deserve the same level of protection. Here's what's crazy. The law provides for our children, boys or girls, to have the same level of protection, but our community doesn't. Then she says, "It was not my job to fulfill those social needs." On April 21st, Alamange Reinke was charged with 4 felony counts of sexual misconduct by a school staff member or volunteer. According to the criminal complaint filed in the case, students on the basketball team at Rufus King High School told a resource officer on April 15th that Alamange Reinke had been inappropriately contacting them throughout the 24-25 school year. The Northside Magnet School's principal communicated to parents on April 16th that a teacher was not working while an investigation was conducted, but did not name the teacher. According to the teacher's attorney, Alamange Reinke found out about the charges filed against her from the news, and she turned herself in to the police. I got the criminal complaint, and I want to read it. And then I want your honest opinions on what this woman was charged with now that we know what her sentence is. 6 months of Huber with work release and 2 years of probation. Count 1, sexual misconduct by a school staff or volunteer. Alamange Reinke, Erica A., 2571 South 63rd Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53219. Date of birth, 4/12/1985. The below named complainant being duly sworn on information and belief states that, count 1, sexual misconduct by school staff or volunteer. The above named defendant between September 3rd, 2024 and April 15th, 2025 at 1801 West Olive Street, Rufus King High School in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, as a school staff member or volunteer did commit an act of sexual misconduct against a pupil enrolled at the school, contrary to section 948.098 subsection 2 of Wisconsin state statutes. Upon conviction of this offense, a class I felony, the defendant may not be fined more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 3 years and 6 months or both. Count 2, sexual misconduct by school staff or volunteer. The above named defendant between September 3, 2024 and April 15, 2025 at 1801 West Olive Street in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, as a school staff member or volunteer did commit an act of sexual misconduct against a pupil enrolled at the school, Contrary to section 948.098 subsection 2 of Wisconsin state statutes, upon conviction of this offense, a class I felony, the defendant may not be fined more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 3 years and 6 months or both. So she got no fines, okay? She got 6 months of Huber. Count 3 of the above named defendant between September 3, 2024 and April 15, 2025 at 1801 West Olive Street in the city of Milwaukee, County, Wisconsin, as a school staff member or volunteer did commit an act of sexual misconduct against a pupil enrolled at the school, contrary to section 948.098 subsection 2 of Wisconsin state statutes. Upon conviction of this offense, a class I felony, the defendant may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 3 years and 6 months or both. Count 4, sexual misconduct by school, staff, or volunteer. The above named defendant between September 3, 2024 and April 15, 2025 at 1801 West Olive Street in the city of Milwaukee, County, Wisconsin, as a school, staff member, or volunteer. Here's what's crazy. It took place at the school, which makes it even worse. Like if this was an adult like selling fentanyl to a kid and they sold fentanyl to a kid at like a gas station or some parking lot of some vacant building, that's one thing. Somebody selling drugs to a kid at their school is another. Like there have to be designated places where our children are protected. And we're very sensitive about that because we don't like mass shooters in schools. We think the schools should be safe places, not just from guns and gun violence and mass shooters, but also from predators. I just want my community to see that a predator can come in the form of a woman. Probable cause. Complainant is a city of Milwaukee law enforcement officer. They base this complaint on information and belief and on a review of official police reports prepared by fellow City of Milwaukee police officers. These are of the kind complainant has used in the past and found to be truthful and reliable, and which complainant knows were prepared in the ordinary and regular course of Milwaukee police business. On April 15, 2025, Rufus King High School students approached school resource officer Byfield about a teacher inappropriately contacting them throughout the school year from September 3, 2024 to April 14, 2025. The academic calendar begins on April 3, 2024. Rufus King High School is located at 1801 West Olive Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The teacher, known as Miss A, was identified as defendant Erica Alamange Reinke. All student victims were members of the basketball team. Student victim, who we're going to call BB, date of birth 12/7/2007. Detective Harris interviewed BB, who described developing a close relationship with the defendant and coming to trust her. He explained that the defendant asked for his cell phone number and requested that she share his location with her during the 2024-2025 school year. BB also noted that the defendant bought him various items as well. Over time, he began sharing his location and occasionally exchanged text messages with her. On February 9, 2025, at 1:58 a.m., the defendant texted BB, "I need to stop. Please block me." BB did not respond, but got a follow-up text from the defendant stating, "Welp, I guess you will just have to keep getting uncomfortable texts from me then," with THENNNNNNNN. Sorry, not sorry. When BB asked her about the dream at school, the defendant replied it involved the two of them having sex. Are y'all not disgusted by this? This is a grown-ass woman talking to a child via text message, where the woman who said she had a problem with boundaries but didn't know until she had been teaching for 17 years asked this child to share his location via his cell phone with her. If you're the mama of this child, wouldn't you be upset? Or replace her, Erica Alamange Reinke, with a man? Ladies, gentlemen, those of you that have daughters, would you be okay with your daughter's teacher knowing your daughter's location? Would you be okay with your daughter's teacher telling your daughter that he had a sexually explicit dream about her? A month later, BB confided in the defendant after losing an important basketball tournament. The defendant told BB, I can give you fellatio if that makes you feel better, but she didn't say give you fellatio. She said suck your D. BB declined the offer and avoided the defendant afterwards. And here's what's crazy. You probably got 40% of the men listening to this program that think it would have been okay for that student to allow that teacher to perform fellatio on him. We have our wires crossed, I think, as a community. Because I know a bunch of us, oh, yeah, I'd let her do it. And in so he's born in 2007, so that would make him 14 at the time? 15 at the time? Because he's, 18 now. 17 at the time. If you're born in 07, how many years ago was that? 18 years, right? 17? I can suck your D if that makes you feel better. The student declined the offer and avoided the defendant afterwards. Student B, victim JB. JB reported that his interactions with Miss A began during the 2024-2025 school year. He stated that the defendant initially asked for his phone number, which he eventually provided. She was approaching these boys. She didn't get their phone number, through the regular course of school business, to text them about a homework assignment. She's asking these boys if she can have their phone number. And now you got to keep in mind, if you're a child and your teacher or an adult that has some kind of power and authority over you is asking for your phone number, you probably feel obligated to give it. But then again, a child should be able to give their telephone number to a teacher who's supposed to be a caretaker of that child and not think that that adult is going to use that phone number and that immediate and direct access to that child for her sexual purposes, coming from a woman who admitted she has a problem with boundaries, but didn't realize it until she had been teaching for 17 years. I wonder if they asked her, or if they did a survey of her previous students, if she had acted like this with any of them, including other girls. Throughout the school year, the defendant would call and FaceTime him at random times. JB disclosed that the first inappropriate incident occurred approximately 1 month into the school year while he was in the defendant's classroom. He described how the defendant instructed him to sit close to her, inquired about his well-being, and then caressed his inner thigh with her hand. JB stated that the contact made him feel uncomfortable, prompting him to move her hand away and tell her he did not appreciate the gesture. The defendant responded, "I'm an affectionate person." Y'all, this is describing a predator. I'm going to take a break, come back. I got to finish reading this criminal complaint so we can have a more thorough understanding. And this woman only got, remember, she got 2 years of probation. They allowed her to surrender her teaching license as a part of the plea, which she should have had her teacher's license revoked immediately upon the evidence that they had a single text message from this woman to any of these kids. And she got 6 months of Huber with work release. So I'm going to take a break, come back, continue reading the criminal complaints of a white woman who, I guess, gets to do whatever she wants with black boys and not really get in a lot of trouble. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.